Hello and welcome to The Quest on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Rakhee Bakshee. This show gives you deep insight into the life, career and vision of a leading personality, and also that leading personality talks about the issues surrounding us. And that leading personality today, this time with us, is Ms. Shobha Oza. She is the President of All India Mahila Congress. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Let's start with all these things happening with women, and I'll take on the very current issue. We are talking about an individual's right to privacy, keep apart even the woman's, but also an individual's right to privacy. And what's happening, let's say, to begin with what's happening in Gujarat, this woman, of course, faced something which she shouldn't have. Yeah. So how do you look at it?
See, Rakhee, today the women of India are really vulnerable. And the incidents which come up really perturbs the women of this country. What this entire episode of stalking, of snooping, brings many things into picture. In Gujarat, there are few cassettes, audio cassettes which have come out saying that this particular architect young lady who was snooped upon, stalked by the government. The entire Gujarat government, can you beat it? 3 agencies.
But what's your basic problem as a party? Because now the father has also come out and said that it was done at his behest, and as a father he did it for his daughter.
But will any father, see, he asked for security. That's what the first letter that came into public was, that the father asked for security to the CM, Gujarat CM, that is Mr. Modi. But here, if you hear the cassettes, if you go through the transcripts, you'll find it is not security, it is clear stalking of that young lady. It is about, she's followed everywhere where she went. She's followed, they would like to know this Modi, Amit Shah, who was the then Home Minister, try to find out where she is, with whom she is, whether she's flying, and all her phones were tapped. Even when she made calls from the PCO, they tried to
You as a party look at it in a very unique way, and a unique case actually of what's happening to a woman, and you use the word snooping and stalking, and the state machinery being used.
See, Gujarat's history under Mr. Modi has that of being violation of human rights and violation of how it has become a hub of violation of human rights, whether it be fake encounters, whether it be the riots. You know very well how Gujarat functions. So the entire state machinery, if the CM, the Home Minister, everyone is after the life of a lady, naturally the entire country, when it comes to public domain,
actually is that they are being misunderstood, and this whole thing is it's taking shape which is too large and which is uncalled for. That's how the other side, the other version comes.
Actually, if the BJP was clear, if the CM was clear, if Mr. Amit Shah was clear, wouldn't they come to any public forum, or at least the government of Gujarat would come out with exactly what happened? They are saying that we gave her protection, but is this protection that she was followed by 3 agencies? ATS, what is ATS? Anti-Terrorist Squad. When does ATS follow? When a person is himself or herself a terrorist, or is being threatened by a terrorist. But what this girl a terrorist, or what
are you actually truly objecting to? Are you objecting to how a woman should be treated, or are you actually making it a political issue?
See, we are not making it a political issue at all. We are not being personal about it. Our only concern is, if things turn this way, is any woman in this country safe? Doesn't she have a right to privacy? Can't she really
so the manner in which everything
happened, right? Wherein a state machinery is misused to interfere in one individual's life, and we don't know how many such cases are there. It is one of the cases which has come into the light. We don't know exactly what is happening in Gujarat and many other such states maybe. So that is our concern.
But now Sushma Swaraj has said that they are ready to be kind of taken it up at the Supreme Court level.
That's what we are asking. We are asking for a judicial inquiry into the entire thing. Let them have a judicial inquiry, and we trust our judiciary, and let them come open with it as to what happened, why was she stopped.
So your main agenda right now is an explanation of the clear picture as to
Right.
what exactly has happened.
Right.
So how are you going about it?
We have been, as I said, we have been demanding for a judicial inquiry, and at the same time we are demanding that if anything comes against these guys whose names have been surfacing, Mr. Modi, Mr. Amit Shah and many other police officials of SP rank, they should be taken to task.
You know, this brings me to a larger question which I would like to ask you. When we're talking about women, young women especially, all these issues are coming up, surfacing also because of technology. Somewhere we are talking about surveillance, which has happened in this case. How are you looking at these whole new kind of angles to how women are living in our country?
See, now in this 21st century, we don't expect women to be behind the pardas inside their houses. We have these young girls who are going out for studies, who are working, who are competing with men in every area of life, whether it be politics, whether it be your profession like journalism, whether it be sports. Everywhere we are doing well, very well in this country. Given an opportunity, the women of India will prove that they are any day better than man in this country or men in this country, for that matter. So, like with and at the same time we are vulnerable because like the mindset of the country remains the same. It is a male-dominated psyche what we have. So it will take time.
But we can't divide it into political parties or sections.
No, I'm not talking about politics at all. I'm talking about society at large. So unless like we change that psyche, we change that mindset and we start accepting women as equals, these problems are going to arise. See, the only I feel like what the psyche of a man in our country is that they can dominate a woman by physically hurting her, by mentally torturing her. So these are the issues and they try the level best wherever they can.
So now what you said is very interesting. These subtle ways of harassment. There are some very clear-cut exterior ways of finding that a woman is getting harassed. There are some subtle ways like this, in this case also one would say. How would you look at those areas being now looked into?
See, that's what, why are we like fighting on the streets for this? Not only me, but there are many women's organizations who've been fighting for this issue, who have come to the streets with it, and other political parties too. But then time and again I've said that this is not only a political issue. I won't say since because we all in politics, so like it will definitely,
converged,
But then it is not only a political issue. What we are worried about, that if this is the case, this is how women are tortured. We have seen many other ways of torturing women, but this is a unique way, wherein like her entire life is being stalked. So like how do we take it? And if the government does it, all the more reasons to feel annoyed or agitated. So like we need to put a full stop to all this. Unless we do this, I don't think like we are going back to centuries, like we're going
so
back
there
to
are all these issues and many more prominent issues that we'll continue talking about, but right now we're taking a very short break. We are talking to Ms. Shobha Oza and you're watching The Quest. We're coming back shortly. You're watching The Quest. We are talking to Ms. Shobha Oza. She's the president of All India Mahila Congress, somebody who is taking active interest in how women should lead their lives and they should be provided more dignity. So we are talking about more dignity, and of course, sadly, we're seeing an increasing rate of crimes against women. How you're taking up as a political party also? How sensitive are you?
Yes, see, we are very sensitive as far as women atrocity is concerned. My leader, that is Sonia ji and Rahul ji, both are very clear about it. They have instructed us that as a political party, as a women's organization, we need to fight against women's atrocity, whether at every level, whether it is our people, by our people I mean, whether someone from the Congress organization is also involved in any sort of women atrocity, we need not think twice before opposing him. That's the line we have. So naturally, we are out and out against, we're very sensitive to women issues.
But how are you promoting that women also at the same time? I mean, how much space are you giving to women, let's say within the political party or elections?
Yeah, naturally, like what Rajiv ji's vision was for women in this country was, he thought unless we bring more and more women into active politics, we cannot clean this political picture or the system, and we cannot put a check to criminalization and corruption. With that vision, he brought this reservation for women at the local bodies, and he wanted it in the Vidhan Sabhas and Lok Sabhas also.
What we are seeing right now as we are looking at assembly polls.
I'm just coming to that. So, and that vision was later given a bigger picture by Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, who made it not only 33% but 50% reservation now we have at the local levels, which is a landmark decision in the sense that women who never used to come out of their houses now are now Panch, Sarpanch, Jila Panchayat, Janpads, they are
But when it comes to actual polls, you don't give them tickets.
No, they take it, they have 50% of reservation, that's what I'm saying. At the local level,
I mean,
local
look
bodies.
at Delhi or look at Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. But as far as Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha are concerned, we are yet fighting for a right of 33% of reservation for women by the passage of this bill, reservation bill. And I am very confident that though it has got
it
delayed,
has crossed certain path, yes.
it has got delayed. We got it, Congress got it passed in the Rajya Sabha despite the opposition from many political parties, but we are determined to get it passed in the Lok Sabha also, and a day will come when this gets passed and we will have 33% of our women force sitting in Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha and
so much
deciding
happened
for
in
us.
Delhi, for example, and we've seen all this Nirbhaya case and the rates of gang rapes happening even now that we're talking. It's actually happening, sadly, unfortunately. But when it's coming to, again, empowering women, 6 tickets, Delhi Assembly election.
I agree. As I said, it is a male-dominated society what we have. So unless, why are we pressing for this reservation? We know that unless we have reservation, we are not going to get that right of ours to be in the Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabhas. It is difficult. I agree, it is difficult.
Like you're from Madhya Pradesh, talking about seats or allocation there itself, it's not really very
It is not very easy because we have to fight it out with all these men in general are one with the same mindset. They feel this politics is an area where like for a woman it is difficult to win and they can make a mark. Can you beat it like men come up with such silly excuses? A woman might be a mayor of that city and they would say, nahi, she cannot win the election. She's proved herself, she's the mayor of that city, but still they will oppose her, saying they will not accept her leadership. They will oppose her, saying ki nahi, she cannot win the assembly election. How?
But do you think with time that there is a pattern shift? Do you think that something is changing or we're still fighting? I mean, or as a party, you're still fighting to get that space?
No. See, in Congress, things have changed a lot after, like Sonia ji is very particular. Any list without women, she rejects out and out. And our leaders know that, like, they cannot send a list to her without women in it. So, like, same as with Rahul ji also. So, with in Congress, things have changed. We have an internal, in the organization, a reservation of 33% in every committee, everywhere we are there. And I'm one of the most fortunate one, because after I took up Mahila Congress, it's Rahul ji is in charge of my organization and I report to him directly. So like you can understand the type of liberty I have to work with and the type of strength I have behind me and the entire Mahila Congress of this country. So we are like, we are really with
geared towards it.
We are geared and we are at our work with full force. So that shows, like,
you know, talking about efforts, there have been legislations now, there have been bills now, but when it comes again to enforcement and actual action taking place on ground is not happening. What do you think is the actual reason? I mean, as I understand, there's still fear of reporting, let's say, a case which has happened against a woman. There's still less women coming out and expressing as to what has happened with them. How do you think we actually change that fear?
Actually, what happens is, in our country, as far as rapes are concerned or women atrocities are concerned, it is a taboo. Actually, a taboo is still attached to that. Like any woman or any daughter, if she, like, the parents will feel scared, if the society comes to know that she's been raped, she would, like, people will not have sympathy with her, but a taboo is attached to, okay, she's been raped, then later on, like, they might find it difficult to get her married or something like that sort of mindset we have. But that is slowly changing with time. So, as you said, that the cases don't get registered because the family pressure. First of all, the family does not only think of that atrocity, but then they think of the future of that girl. They think of many more aspects which they have to face
No, but,
living in a society.
Also the other side, what about security? Like in Bengaluru, what has happened with the ATM case where a woman was attacked and robbed. So one is talking about security at all levels. There was no guard there that time and the woman was really helpless and vulnerable. So how do you look at these different cases coming up in front of us?
As I said, we are a vulnerable lot, like till date we are a vulnerable lot. But then I feel like
the system needs to
be changed, and as I said, the mindsets need to be changed, and like it is high time men start digesting women in this country and taking them as equals, not as
and not scared or jealous of their
no,
progress.
No, yes, that's what. Like they feel somewhere they are challenged. As I said, that women are really doing well once given an opportunity. It is just a matter of opportunity for women in this country.
So we are talking to Ms. Shobha Oza. We are talking about issues related to women. But don't go away. We are coming back shortly. You're watching The Quest. You're watching The Quest. We're talking to Ms. Shobha Oza and we'll continue to talk to her about women-related issues. You know, you're talking about strengthening women at the panchayat level, at the parliament level, at the state level. How long the journey is, because empowering women politically is very important. You talked about their role in political parties, but how much do you think we have to travel?
We have come, I suppose, 3/4 way. 1/4 remains to travel more. Thousands and lakhs, I should say, not even thousands, women have come up. Now, see, initially when Panchayati Raj was launched, we wouldn't find
some states have given 50%, some have not.
Yeah. All Congress ruled states have given. Few opposition states are still resisting it, and we are fighting it out in those states. Initially when Panchayati Raj was launched, we wouldn't find women to contest from particular villages or maybe panchayats. But now these women who have come up have not only proved and won from women constituencies, but from non-reserved constituency also. See, every time there's a change of constituency. Once it becomes women and then it becomes maybe a OBC or a general or so. So these women have proved, they have then stood from general constituencies and won again. So against men, when they stand from general constituency, need not necessarily be a woman against them. So they've proved. So now, like, if we go and see on the papers, more than 50% women are in governance. Like we have nearly 60% women who are into governance.
But still there is this rural population where we're seeing these, these marginalized women, and we hear cases of sometimes they're paraded naked. There are all kinds of humiliation, suffering they are still facing.
No, but
honor killing is happening. So there is this other side, extreme other side.
Right.
At the bottom level, we are seeing at the urban level something else is happening. So how do you see this gap? What strategy is being made to tackle all this?
Actually, like as I said, more and more women should get into governance. Unless they come into governance and like the family also supports them. Family support is a must, Rakhee. Because like without family support, no woman in this country can really come out and work in the public. So family support is a must, and I have seen that shift in the change I have seen in families wherein even in the rural areas, women now since they know now there's a reservation, they cannot make it, so their wives can make it, they will encourage their wives. So that change is definitely there.
What about policing? What about the administration? What about judiciary taking it all actively? What about the system actually?
Yes, system actually we have to make system proactive for women. That is a must. And I suppose that can start at home, like that has to begin at home. We have to forget that fascination for a male child. It should start from there. The mothers have to come to grow up and give equal importance to a male, a kid and a daughter. Like it's high time that we stop reservation for women in the womb. Like we stop female feticide. We have to start from there. The mindset has to get changed from there.
Another thing we are watching that, earlier we used to think of certain states or there's a certain pattern to crimes against women. We saw things happening in Mumbai. We're seeing things happening in very progressive states like Bengaluru. So that is something very disturbing now. I mean, there is no as such, in fact, a pattern. There is this whole crime which is happening and happening.
Everywhere.
So,
as I said, since now earlier women, so many women were never out of their houses in various areas working hours. Like now we have late night also for women because of these BPOs. Young girls have been going out late night and all. Earlier these things weren't there. So now the society has to adjust to seeing women young girls coming out even at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So the system has to be, as I said, has to be proactive. The government or the entire government machinery or the police have to be proactive, more sensitive. We have to sensitize them as far as women are concerned, because with this new generation, wherein who are not confined to home, are working, studying, going to other cities, and the world is this thing for them, open to them. So in this new times, we have to change the entire mindset of the police, the government, the people, and teach them to accept women wherever they are and give an equal status.
Is there a sustained effort? Because we see that when protests happen on the streets, then of course there are certain reactions come in, senior politicians maybe voice their concern or talk about it. Many of them we expect, but they are not so vocal. We want, of course, everybody to rise up to the occasion, and that's why there is a divide which grows between, let's say, the polity and the people. How you're actually narrowing that kind of gap and not really only reacting when things happen, but getting into a sustained kind of strategy?
Rakhee, I strongly feel that any empowerment, any definition of empowerment is not incomplete without economic empowerment. Unless we bring in economic empowerment amongst women, they won't stand up and fight for their own rights. So economically we have to empower them, socially we have to empower them, and politically we have to empower them. Then only the definition of women's empowerment becomes complete. And at the same time, we have to educate our men. See, for rapes, why should only the women stand up and fight for rape of any particular woman? Why can't male? Why can't they stand up? It is something, an atrocity against an individual. Why don't they look at it like that? So, there should not be a divide that fine, this is the male dominant, this is only women-dominated, women-related crime.
Let me come to something personal about you as a politician. How much trouble or struggle did you face? You've grown up, you've come up to this position. How has the whole journey been for you?
For me, it wasn't much a struggle. Maybe I'm blessed, that I didn't have any struggle at all. I was a student leader. Fortunate, really fortunate. I thank God for that. I was a student leader. Then soon after my education, I got married to another student leader. So we make a family. And since my husband was in politics, he understands me very well, and the entire support of the family was there with me. And I was picked up by Rajiv ji in my student days, and I got into the NSUI, which is the student wing.
How would you then look at some of the other women who still fight for their own
I feel sorry for them when I see really these women have to struggle, and though I was blessed, though I'm not from a political family, still the journey was quite smooth for me. But others are there people who are not from a political family. It is not easy for them to be in this area, because as you know, a lot of pushes, pulls, and are there. And despite hard work, despite all the qualities they have, leadership qualities, they might not always get what they want.
On the recent issue, as we are now concluding, we saw you, of course, voicing your concern on this recent issue, and you went to channels and we saw you getting active. But how serious actually the party, or sensitive the party is now to take up these women-related issues and agenda and work on it?
As I said, my leader, she is very, very sensitive about women's issues. Sonia ji, if you remember Nirbhaya case, she was the one who reached and met Nirbhaya's parents, and her concern for women, that shows her concern for women. She would not stay, as a leader she might, it was not necessary for her to go, and the type of security she has and all, but she made it a point. She went herself and met the parents and assured them full support, which means a lot. For any ordinary person fighting against atrocity, for them a leader like Sonia ji reaching the place makes all the difference. So my leader and Gandhi family and Congress has always been very sensitive to women issues. We had leaders like Indra ji, and Congress has the credit to this thing to have the first women PM, first women president, and we've been always encouraging women. So I'm fortunate enough to be a part of the party which encourages women.
So thank you so much for joining us on the show, and all the very best. And you were watching The Quest. We were talking to Ms. Shobha Oza. Hope you liked this edition of The Quest. Thank you for watching. Namaskar and bye-bye.